Welcome to 13 Weeks to Mindfulness by True Path. This is a 13-week series that teaches you about mindfulness, what it is, all the way to hopefully after 13 weeks, you become organically mindful, which means you make it a daily habit. And when that happens, it's amazing. So mindfulness is basically, it's just the art of paying attention on purpose. And I call it an art because it's a practice. You know, we live a lot of our lives in the past and in the future, and it's really in the present where we actually live. So bringing yourself back to that spot is extremely important. Last week, we talked about routines. We talked about leaning into discomfort. And this is a tough one. If something's uncomfortable, we want to avoid it. And that's what we usually do. So we'll run from it or we'll just keep away from it. The point is to lean into it, to understand it. And when you can start to do that in your life, some amazing things happen. We live in our comfort zone, which is a great place, but we want to be here. And in order to get there, you have to leave your comfort zone, but that's uncomfortable. And so you need to lean into those sort of things and really understand why it's uncomfortable. And what's cool is that little path from here to here, you learn so much. If you miss that, you can always catch all 13 weeks of this series, including I'll have links at the bottom of each video with, articles and exercises. Go to truepathplanner.com/13, just the number 13. So this week we are asking why. Okay. So asking why is, why do I think the way I think? Why do I do what I do? You're analyzing yourself. You're looking at yourself in a deeper state. So it's not just, why do I do this? Because a lot of times it's a surface answer. You want to get down to the deeper levels of why you actually do the things you do. And we did, and at the beginning of True Path, we did a goal exercise. It was the goal breakdown formula, and you ask what, why, how, and then where and when. And it's the why. When you're breaking down a goal, the what's cool. That's what you want to do. But it's the why you want to do that goal, or why you want to accomplish what you want to accomplish, that is important. And that is the thing that's going to carry you through the tough times and allow you to actually accomplish that goal. If you don't have a strong why or really understand the why behind the goal, many times you're not going to accomplish that goal. So asking why and understanding why is important. So I gave you a little example of when you're breaking down your goal, how to ask why. It's almost like, when you're a kid, or if you have children, you give them an answer and they say, yeah, but why? And then you give them an answer, they say, yeah, but why? So you keep asking why to your answers to dig deeper into what it is. So I gave you an example. If you're trying to get in better shape, you're trying to exercise, and get in better shape. This is an example. So why do I want to be in better shape? To look better. Okay, but why do you want to look better? So that I can feel good about putting on a bathing suit. Okay, but why is that important? If I feel good about myself, I will have more confidence. If I have more confidence, I won't be afraid of failing. And then it goes on a little bit. But that is the point. And you see, you start out here, and why do I want to be in better shape? To look better. And that's probably 90% of the people's answers. But if you keep asking, and then you get deeper and deeper, you get down to, you want more confidence, and that's just not in the way you look, but in the way you are. Okay. And confidence can go a long ways in life, as I'm sure professionally, personally, all of it. So when you start to dig down deep and start to ask the whys behind the whys, that's when you really start to learn. You go from the surface level down deep and really start understanding who you are and why you do the things you do. Whys, asking whys again, I like to give this sort of example. So obviously a tree here, right? And we have some leaves, we have branches, and then we have the trunk, and then we have roots. Okay, so the what's in life are the leaves and the branches. This is the what's. And this is kind of how we're taught to learn, really, I think we're taught just the what's. Like, oh, what is this? What is that? So you learn how to pass a test and then move on. But it's when you learn the whys is when you really start to learn, all of the what's. So these are the whys down here, the trunk and the roots. This is the whys. So if you learn one why, you're going to learn 6 or 7 whats. And if you don't have the whys, these are not supported. So it's learning how to ask why and understand the why. And once you can do that, it's a much deeper learning. And life kind of opens up in a way. I'll be honest, I don't think I learned, I didn't learn how to learn until about, 7, maybe 8 years ago. And it was at that point when I started to ask the whys in life. And before that, I was never really taught that. And I just didn't do it, I guess, in my life. And so I was always asking the whats. Well, it was fine, but it's a harder life because once you learn the whys, it answers all the whats. Okay. So this week, it's ask why. So it says, we've talked about habits and how we do them without thinking. This week, ask why. Start thinking about the actions you take, the thoughts you have, and start asking why. Why am I thinking this? Why am I doing this? Remember, this is not about the whats, or life is not about the whats. It's about the whys. Just as I was talking about, start to dig deeper into your life. This is week 11, or 12, I should say, going into 12 in True Path. And so, just the True Path Planner, if you've been doing this the way it's designed, you've already learned an immense amount about yourself, period. And then with the 13 weeks to mindfulness, you should be on the next level. You should start at this point, and you should see it, you should feel it, you should understand it. You are now at this point of mindfulness. You started here with just kind of learning what it is and practicing the things. Now you're applying it to your life. And asking why isn't really a once a day sort of thing. It's a continuous action. Okay. So, we've set alarms before for, breathing or walking or, observing different things in these different exercises. This time you're continually asking why. Why am I doing this? So the way I look at this is, here's your weekly schedule. Ask why in each box. So in the morning, how was your morning? Why was it that way? In your afternoon, why was it that way? Evening, why was it that way? You're continually asking, because say you had a great afternoon, but you didn't have that good of a morning. Why? Why wasn't it that good? And because this morning, you do not want to repeat this morning, right? So, but you have to understand what went wrong this morning in order to fix that. You get it? So, but you have to ask why and understand why. And if you're doing the daily, on the bottom of every day, this is why it's designed the way it's designed. The bottom of the day, you're doing your food, move, and social. You're doing your day in review. This is what this is. So it's your food, move, and social. And food, obviously, that's easy. Move, that can be exercise. It can be how much you were just out and about. Social is your environment. Who are you around? You're a product of your environment. So then you give yourself a score, say a 1 to 10 score for the day, and then you answer why. Why was it that way? You don't just give yourself a score and move on. You need to know why. Why did you give yourself that score? That's the reason it's there. And then what'd you learn? This is extremely important, possibly the most important part of everything that you do with the True Path Planner. So once you start to learn, why you do the things you do, you can then start correcting and enhancing and progressing your life to be easier. And wouldn't that be amazing to have an easier life? That's kind of the point. So this week we're asking why. However you want to do it, start to continually ask why, because this is the point. You're now starting to continually better yourself and progress yourself every single day. All right. I wish you the best. This is a good one. We're getting towards the end. You should have learned an immense amount about yourself. Your mindfulness is now up here. So enjoy the whys and continually ask each day. And hopefully you have some cool answers. And I will see you next week.